want results, but very few actually get them. Why is that? Here we're going to go over the 5 questions that if you brutally answer these questions for yourself, it makes all the difference between the moms who stay stuck versus the ones that keep repeating the cycle year after year after year. You have to answer these questions brutally. I mean, literally take out a pencil, piece of paper, a pen, whatever, and write down every single one of these questions and answer them for yourself brutally. If you don't answer them for yourself brutally, it doesn't work. But if you answer these honestly from your heart, it makes all the difference for your transformation, you losing weight, and overall the new version of you. So I kid you not, take this seriously and watch what happens for your life. And you want to definitely stick around because the third one might be exactly what you need for your breakthrough. All right. So I'm gonna get into the first one. The first one is, do I really believe? Yeah. Do I really believe I deserve to feel amazing in my own body again? Do you feel you deserve to feel amazing in your own body again? Answer that for yourself. Not just a surface level. What do you really feel for yourself? Because if you don't feel you deserve to feel good in your body again, are you going to do the things it takes to get you to where you want to be? Or is everything else going to come up in the world to say why I shouldn't take this seriously for myself? It starts with your belief. And if you believe in your mind, I don't deserve it, now you need to drill back and say, at what point did this change for me? Is there a point I can think about, wait, before this point here, this is when it shifted? For some people, that could be, I got in a bad relationship. And when I got in this bad relationship, I used to care about myself, but then as soon as this happened, all of that went out the window. Or was it from your childhood? Maybe you were in a situation where you were shamed based on your weight and based on these different things. So you need to drill back for yourself. At what point was it when I stopped feeling like I deserved it? And once you find that, now you can tackle that. And then once you get rid of that core thing, everything else starts to fall into place. So when you write this down, seriously dig back and drill into it and say, what thing is possibly holding me back in terms of this? All right. So the second question, am I chasing quick fixes or am I doing something that lasts? How many times have you seen there's this new diet over here? It could be, and I'm not saying because all of them can work, it just depends on what you do with them, right? But let's say there's a new keto diet, there's a new carnivore diet, there's a new fasting diet. There's so many different diets you see that come up. And one moment you're doing this one, then you switch to this one, then you switch to another one. Are you falling into the diet trap? When have you ever started trying to lose weight and you transformed and took out everything you see there? All the food and everything you see that you love, you got rid of it and it worked for you. Because here's the thing, when you're doing things that actually work, it's about keeping it simple. It's not about making it overly complicated. If it's overly complicated, on those days that you're having a hard time, on those days you don't really want to do it, are you really going to stick to it? If you don't set it up in a way that it sets you up for success, how are you going to stick to it? So don't fall into the diet trap. It's not about dieting. It's about making those changes and shifts in your life, the small changes that add up to massive results. It's the small, simple changes, not these crazy, huge changes. It's the small ones that get you to where you want to be. So once again, you need to ask yourself that question right now where I am I chasing the quick fixes? Oh, this thing over here saying I'll lose 20 pounds in a week. Or are you chasing the things that I'm making these simple shifts that can stick with me for a long period of time? In life, in many cases, you can apply this to things that's happened in your life, things you've seen happen to other people. In most cases, the things that change super, super fast, they don't last as long. Even somebody that wins the lottery. In many cases, you find out that the people that win the lottery, all the money is gone just like that right after they get the money. Why? Because they didn't become the person that was able to handle that amount of money just yet, so they spent it very, very quickly. Versus a person that worked from the ground up. I didn't have any money and I worked and built my way up, and now I have this money, they appreciate it more. Maybe just like one of your kids, where let's say you just give them a car. When you just give them a car, I'm not saying right or wrong, right? Of course, there's different situations, but when you just give a kid a car, maybe they don't value it the same. Maybe they don't keep it clean as much. Maybe they get in car accidents easier. Maybe they don't take it as seriously. But when they had to earn and work that 9 to 5 job or that part-time job or whatever, they had to build up that money to get to the place to where they could eventually buy that car. A lot of time they appreciate it more because they put their own skin, time, and effort into the game to actually get it done. So it's the same thing when it comes to you. And you'll see people even get weight loss surgery and things of that nature. And I'm not saying right or wrong. It's up to each person what they want to do. But in many cases, when you get these things done, you didn't develop the mindset it took to have that body. So in many cases, people go the exact opposite direction. They get the weight loss surgery, they lose all this weight, and then they end up putting on even more weight than they had prior to the surgery because they didn't develop this. So don't get in the habit of these really quick fixes. Focus on the things that will get you to the result over time. It's way better that way. All right. Here's number 3. Number 3, question 3. What am I allowing to get in the way of my health? I want you, once again, answer this honestly for yourself. What are you allowing to get in the way of your health? Is it your job? Is it your spouse? Is it a boyfriend or girlfriend? Is it your kids? Whatever that is it your past? What are you currently allowing right now to get in the way of your health? Because we're going to be completely brutally honest right now. Your kids are extremely important. Your partner is very important. All of these things could be very important. But if your health is not in the right place, you won't be here long enough to really enjoy those things. You have to get to a place to where your health is priority. You don't get to live the quality life if you don't take your health seriously. You don't get to live as long as you should have if you don't take your health seriously. You come first. Once again, you cannot pour from an empty cup. You can't keep pouring into a cup that has a hole in the bottom and expect the water to stay there. You have to get to a place where you can help from the overflow. When you're pouring that water in there and it's just spilling out, I can help other people with the best of my ability. Because if you're not putting your health first, there's no way you can give your kids fully what they need. You can't give your significant other fully what they need. You can't give your job fully what you need. You can't even give your goals and dreams for the future everything it needs when you're not here physically where you want to be. So ask yourself right now, write down all those things. Is this what I'm putting before my health? Is this what I'm putting before my health? And write all those things down so you're clear on what those things are. And now you have a list of these things and you can actually do something about it and say, how do I put some time time aside for myself to put this in place? Maybe that's 15 minutes a day. Maybe that's 30 minutes a day. You don't have to have 2 hours a day. You don't have to have a whole day to yourself. Sometimes you might not be able to find that pocket, but 15 minutes, you'll be surprised what 10, 15 minutes can do for your life. If you put this to your side, put this aside, this is your completely uninterrupted time that's for you and working on yourself, working on your mind. When you first wake up in the morning, maybe everybody else is asleep. Give yourself time for you so that it will funnel into everybody else based on you working on yourself first. All right? Question 4, do I have systems or am I relying on motivation? I want you to seriously ask yourself this as well. Do I have systems or am I allowing myself to rely on motivation? Because we know you can wake up one morning, not feel like working out. You can wake up one morning and feel like, I just don't feel like this diet thing's gonna work. I don't feel like this eating thing is really gonna work. I don't feel like I'm gonna get results. So in many cases, you might not feel like doing it, but what's gonna put you in that state of, even when you don't feel like doing it, you have a higher chance of succeeding than failing. It's gonna be your systems. So in many cases, moms aren't really failing because of they're not really failing because of not being able to stick to something. In many cases, you're kind of failing because of not having this system in place, right? So for example, if you have a hard time sticking to eating things that get you to where you want to be, what do you currently have in your fridge? What do you currently have in the cabinet right now? What do you have sitting on the table in front of you? What things do you see that don't align with where you're trying to go? And what I mean by this is, if your fridge is full of all this processed food and all these things that don't get you there, and your cupboard is full of things like candy, chips, cake, soda, whatever, It's full with that. Same thing on your table. And everywhere you turn, you see these things in your sight. How easy is it to pick that thing up? Oh, let me get that. Oh, let me get that. Let me get that. And it happens, and these things compound every single day you get home or in your car. Maybe you got some chips, a snack, and you got all these different things that don't help you go towards your goals. So, what if you remove these things to where they're not common access, to where you can have them just super easy like this? I literally got to get out my house. I got to go drive for this thing versus something that I can wake up in the middle of the night. Let me just grab that out of the fridge. Let me grab this. So that is a system. You are setting it up in a way that it's not easily accessible for you to get the things that don't really get you to where you want to be. Same thing. You can have something in the morning, something that reminds you, this is my goal. First thing in the morning, I have this right here in front of me. Do this today. Do that today. Same. You can have it on your phone or on your wallpaper, on your phone. Every single day, you see your goals and dreams and the things that matter the most to you. So, what systems do you have in place to put you in a better state to actually get where you want to be? Maybe when it comes down to sitting down to eat, sometimes people eat very, very fast. The faster you eat, your mind and body doesn't have a chance to really recognize what you're putting in it just yet. So sometimes just slow down. Take your time. Enjoy what you're eating. Take your time, and your body will fill up faster because you're taking your time to eat. You can even shrink your plate size because in many cases, as time has went along, our plates have gotten bigger, bigger, and bigger. Not just the portion size on it, but the plate itself. So in many cases, we're trying to fill up the plate with food. What if you make your plate smaller? You get yourself plates where the plate is so much smaller to where this is my amount that I have allowed to actually put on my plate. And if it goes outside of that, I can't put it up there. Maybe using smaller utensils. You have a really big spoon you use, you have a really big fork you use. So now each time you're filling up that fork and filling up that spoon with a lot of food, what if you get a smaller fork, a smaller spoon? So now you have the habit of keep putting your food to your mouth and you have to do it way more times to get to the place of finishing that plate. Same thing with your liquids. Is there a substitute you can do? Instead of having the soda all the time, maybe you're like, I don't really like the taste of water. They have the little flavor packets of water. So just think about, once again, not being extreme, what systems can I put in place that put me in a better state? So if I don't have that soda here, I have this little flavor packet. I have this little seltzer water. I have this 0-calorie drink, whatever that is. Just make these small shifts and putting these systems in place to help you succeed. It helps you succeed even when the motivation isn't there. Okay? So, what systems can you apply to your life right now that sets you up to succeed versus fail? All right. Question 5. Who am I becoming through this process? Who am I becoming through this process? Write it down. If you're not clear on who you're becoming through the process, it doesn't give you as much energy and joy to want to get to that on the other side. Because the person you're becoming is way more important than the person you are now. You're not, in many cases, people think sacrifice is a bad thing, right? But sacrifice is not a bad thing. Sacrifice is not giving up something that's bad to get something that's bad. You're giving up something that's a lower value to get to something that has much greater value. So if you're right now not physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually where you want to be, I'm giving up these parts of myself to get to a place where I can increase all of those things to where I want them to be. That version is way more important. So isn't sacrifice in that way better? But when you look at sacrifice as a bad thing, you feel like you're robbing or taking away from yourself every single time you put something else to the side. But no, you're not putting something aside that's more important. You're prioritizing the things that are better and more important. So ask yourself these questions. Really write these questions down, and you will see how much of a difference and how you'll literally have a picture painted out. These are the things that are holding me back right now. And these are the things I'm going to do to change it so that I can get to my weight loss goals. So I can feel better about myself. So I can look myself in the mirror and say, wow, I love who I see there in the mirror. That is what it's about. But you have to ask yourself honest questions. In many cases, we're stuck because we're not asking ourselves honest questions. If you don't ask real, honest, brutal questions, being self-aware, you don't get a chance to unlock those things that are keeping you stuck to take you to where you want to be. So on that note, that is the end of this Mindset Monday. I hope y'all have a fantastic rest of your week and really write these down. And if you want to throw them in the comments, this is the one that had me stuck. Throw it in the comments. Let everybody else join in. But really do this for you because you matter. Prioritize yourself. You cannot truly love everybody else around you if you don't truly love yourself first. Have a good rest of your day.